This is Quest 3, the first consumer mixed reality headset by Meta. And in this review I will show you what's inside the box, run through the setup process, I show you what you can play on it, try PC VR streaming, of course compare it to Quest 2, and yes, tell you more about the dead pixel I found on my displays. Full disclosure, this headset was provided for free by Meta, and it's good to know that I'm not part of their Quest creator program. So as always, opinions are my own, and with that being said, grab a drink and let's jump right in. So first off, the Quest 3 comes in two different storage models, $500 for 128 and $650 for 512 gigabytes. They both come with a free copy of Asgard's Wrath 2, with the more expensive option unlocking a 6-month game subscription named MetaQuest Plus. Inside the box you'll find the Quest 3 headset, its controllers with included AA batteries, a power adapter plus 2-meter charging cable, and paperwork. Sadly, no cleaning cloth, which, let's be honest, could have been useful. The headset features 4 sensors that do inside-out tracking, 2 are located on the edges and 2 are seated within the pill shapes on the front, sharing room with RGB cameras that deliver full color pass-through. Later this year, Quest 3 will be capable of tracking your full upper body as well, mimicking your wrists, elbows, arms and shoulders for a more natural-looking avatar. Located in the middle is a depth sensor that maps and tracks your room. So basically, this headset combines the virtual with the augmented world, which we call mixed reality, bringing the physical and digital together and letting you explore it from a total new perspective. But more on that later. It's good to know that on the left side there is a USB-C port for charging and a power button too, with on the opposite end a 3.5mm headphone jack. The bottom features volume buttons, contact pins for a charging dock, and an IPD wheel. The finishing touch are the speakers built into the arms. In the back we can find these gorgeous looking pancake lenses that compared to Quest 2's Fresnels should offer better visual clarity and a bigger sweet spot. The Quest 3 makes use of 2 LCD panels that give you a resolution of 2064 by 2208 pixels per eye, running at 90 or 120 Hz with a field of view that seems to be about a 15% leap versus its predecessor. The form factor has become noticeably smaller. Meta says it's 40% slimmer without counting the facial interfaces. And yeah, it may be more compact, but not lighter. It's actually slightly heavier than Quest 2 because of the new pancake lenses. The material does feel premium and sturdy, but I do wonder if the cameras in the front would survive a drop on the floor. The headset is being powered by a Snapdragon XR2 Gen 2 chipset from Qualcomm, featuring 8 gigs of RAM, doubling the graphics performance. The setup process is simple. You strap on the Quest, run through a short tutorial, and then you pair it with the official companion app on mobile, which now has the option to do this by scanning a QR code with your actual headset. What's also new is that it can create a play space for you. The floor, walls, ceiling, and furniture will automatically get scanned and then shows you an area you can play in. This feels much more streamlined, although sometimes you still need to correct it manually. Adjusting the stiff IPD dial gets you a range of 58 to 70 millimeters on paper, which according to Meta accommodates an actual range of 53 to 75. Besides that, the headset can stretch out for more lens distance, perfect for folks who wear glasses, and on top of that you can purchase prescription inserts too that you can click over the lenses. These can be found on Meta's website. After you went through the setup, the menu will appear inside your physical space. Similar to that of Quest 2, it comes with classic features such as casting to a TV, enabling hand tracking, streaming PC VR games, and the new kid on the block being the Passthrough button, letting you seamlessly go from MR to VR, which gives such a futuristic vibe. And of course you can also do this by tapping the side of your headset. What's nice is that Meta has come up with a 4-step introduction for new users. But as a European, it is a bit awkward to see Horizon in there, as it's still not available in my region. When you try to check it off, you can invite your friends over and have them stand right next to you in your actual space, which is fantastic. And from there you can jump into your favorite titles through an overhauled party system that is much more reliable. Anyhow, the battery life is about the same as Quest 2, which is disappointing. Here's context on what the headset has to offer in terms of usage depending on the activity, with the official adapter taking around 2 hours to fully charge. So let's move on to the comfort, shall we? First of all, the new face cushion nicely touches my cheekbone and the shape hugs my forehead perfectly. It's breathable, leaving enough room for my nose, but could use some more padding. And funny enough, VR Cover already seemed to be aware of this and has decided to sponsor this segment of the video. They were the first company to ever offer VR comfort and hygiene accessories starting in 2014 and have supplied me with useful products ever since. For Quest 3, they sell this wonderful set of soft face covers that are easy to install, absorb sweat perfectly, feature antimicrobial fabric for optimized hygiene, can be hand washed, and have a thin foam lining for more support. You can get them now on vrcover.com or go to the description below. Use code NATHYQ3 to get 10% off. This is the first of many more Quest 3 products from VR Cover. That said, during my initial testing, I noticed that Quest 3 sits closer to your face, resulting into being more balanced and being less front heavy. But sadly, all this innovation is thrown away by a cheap soft strap that now comes in 2 additional colors, which no one should buy. Because after just 30 minutes, the strap starts eating up your ears, the adjustable plastic pieces dig into your skin, and the lack of good support starts to weigh down on your forehead, leaving you with this nagging pain. To make matters worse, the material easily catches dirt. A few days after trying to like it, I just gave up and was given the M3 Pro battery strap by Bobo, in combination with, of course, VR Cover. If you already owned one, you can just purchase their official adapter to make it fit on your Quest 3, and let me tell you, it makes the headset's comfort 10 times better. I can't believe that Meta still wants first-time users to think that wearing a headset has to be an unpleasant experience. Comfort continues to be their business model, which in this case means spending more money on their lineup of overpriced Elite straps. Having used them previously on Quest 2, I can definitely say they level up the comfort, but found out that over time, the build quality didn't hold up very well, so to be on the safe side, I would still invest into a third-party strap. Okay, let me tell you, next to the amazing hand tracking, the new Touch Plus controllers deserve all the praise. The tracking rings are officially gone, they are lighter, more ergonomic, have better haptics, the battery cover pops right off, and have a good grip. They do not track themselves though, like the Quest Pro controllers do, but instead use infrared LEDs in combination with hand tracking. I can confirm that your controllers still track above your head during fast motions, as the software predicts where they are, and have not run into stick drift yet. The battery life has been treating me well, still being at 100% almost a week in. So overall, these controllers feel very premium. Up next is the Passthrough. Compared to its predecessor, it's a day and night difference. Looking for your controllers is so much easier, it's handy for keeping an eye on your pet, and you can now without hesitation grab a drink from the fridge. Unless it's your mom's phone, it's hard to read text messages, and going to the bathroom is, well, a real gamble. It's good to know that on video, Quest 3's Passthrough looks way better than what you can experience in headset. With the help of natural daylight and brightness fully upped, it can look quite nice, but nowhere near lifelike. Issues like distortion around the edges, a warping effect during motion, a grainy pass-through, stuff being sometimes over or underexposed, and not being the sharpest are things to expect while using it. But despite that, I am impressed how quickly it adapts to changing light sources, the colors being fairly accurate and, most importantly, it's depth correct, which makes a huge difference. Before I forget, Quest 3 is not meant to be used outdoors. If you do, it's at your own risk and doesn't fall under warranty. In my Quest Pro review, I said that an average pass-through doesn't mean it's going to break your immersion. No, when virtual objects become the center point of your attention, the quality of the pass-through becomes less relevant, fading into the background. I do feel bad for those who bought into Quest Pro, as the Quest 3 was clearly Meta's favorite child all along. When diving into apps that were built for mixed reality, you finally get to see how much potential this medium has and how it's going to change our way of living once this tech can be put inside a pair of glasses. It feels so magical to see your living room come to life in ways you could never imagine. For example, you can play virtual board games on your coffee table, spawn a floating arena in the middle of your house to brawl, learn to play piano or take DJ lessons, open up a portal to go back in time, become a secret agent, hacking computers, watch movies on the couch, expand your workspace with digital screens, and oh, so much more. The Quest can remember multiple different rooms, and you can mark your windows, couch, and everything else in your house to get the most out of mixed reality. You can even have the option to play with other Quest users in real time, thanks to spatial anchors. And oh, starting in December, Quest will see support for Xbox Game Pass, letting you play your favorite titles wherever you want. And that said, mixed reality is still a new territory, so don't expect a ginormous library of matured apps. Some stuff is straight up gimmicky, while other things are having lots of potential. You will see developers experiment with different use cases, from fitness to productivity and healthcare to training, with games being the main testing ground, just like in the beginning days of VR. So far, the only challenges I'm seeing is that mixed reality does require a fair amount of physical space, which not everyone has, and your hands always being behind the objects instead of occluding them. The largest mixed reality feature isn't even here yet, set to launch in 2024. With so-called augments, Meta promises you can decorate your physical space with objects and widgets. You can have game trophies sit on your shelf, or even cooler, launch an app by just reaching into a portal on your wall. I think this is the one thing that could really sell people on mixed reality, and maybe even VR, as it can be used as a gateway to reduce friction between putting on the headset and getting into an experience. I'm honestly surprised this didn't launch on Quest 3 already. Having access to all this tech does make you question the privacy. When Passthrough is enabled, an indicator on the front will light up, and according to Meta, they only collect the data required for your headset to work properly. Of course, for many gamers, virtual reality is the main reason to buy into this headset. All the content you previously played on Quest 2 is backwards compatible and in general requires less physical space. Thanks to the new chipset, interfaces are snappier and loading times faster. Developers are even able to enhance their games, upping not only the performance but also the scope and looks. Having played both the Quest 2 and Quest 3 versions of Red Matter, Hubris, The Walking Dead VR and Dual Strike, I've been left in absolute awe of what's possible. Textures, lighting, shadows, render distance, more NPCs, the list goes on. Everything graphically is a literal level up, proving that the time has come to take mobile gaming seriously. It's exciting how you can slowly see the gap closing between standalone, PC, and console. It does make me wonder how much of Quest 2's library gets this impressive overhaul, as developers still need to invest their own time and money into making this happen. As nice as it is to see older games getting a second life, I also want to experience new stuff. I hope that, not like Quest 2, the Quest 3 will suffer from the same content and retention problem. Many consumers have literally left Quest 2 in the dust as they couldn't be entertained for long enough. And based on my own experience throughout the years, I've seen people come and go. On the Quest platform, you can expect to sometimes play an amazing AAA title, a fantastic indie, an average at best game, an unfinished one, straight up shovelware, or your favorite game genre simply not being represented. Sometimes content is being announced, followed by complete radio silence, or even disappears when Meta decides to no longer support it. A year of Quest is like a roller coaster. It goes all over the place. If you're willing to be patient, then the games will come, but if you expect a consistent stream of excitement and quality, you may be left disappointed or burned out. To Meta's defense, they did invest in many developers and have acquired skilled studios, which, trust me, will surprise us big time, but it will take a while before we get to play these exclusives. And that brings me nicely to streaming PC VR games. I had honestly no problems playing them with the official fiber cable, nor going wireless by using Airlink or the still superior Virtual Desktop, which has seen a massive overhaul to celebrate Quest 3's launch. Wi-Fi 6E in combination combination with a VR-ready computer gives you solid frame rates, bitrate, no delays, and most importantly, no artifacts or stutters. It's well optimized, and the only downside is that the Oculus PC software is not getting much love from Meta anymore, so Steam continues to be the main hub for new content. Now the displays and lenses are something to die for. The pancakes unlock a massive sweet spot and sharpness that will ruin everything you ever thought you knew about Quest 2's visuals. Once your eyeballs tasted these pancake lenses, there is no turning back. The level of edge-to-edge clarity can only be appreciated, and so is the absence of God rays and screen door effect. I could only spot a barely noticeable bloom in darker scenes. As Quest 3 uses LCD panels instead of OLED, you kinda end up with a similar grade of quality that you can experience on Quest 2 with brightness maxed out. Thanks to the improved resolution of about 30%, things are turned up a notch, but I wouldn't say the difference is mind-blowingly better when playing games or watching movies. The headset does seem to benefit from a slightly nicer contrast and color range, but the black levels are pretty much the same. And yeah, talking about pixels, the moment I unboxed the headset, I found a dead one in my peripheral vision, located on the left panel, and I don't know what the odds are, but if you do get a Quest 3, make sure to double check if you have one yourself. I guess it's now time to chat about the field of view. It's good to be aware that this is a very personal thing, so I always recommend to try a headset first at your local store. And that said, if you do come from Quest 2, you're not going to see much of a difference with minimum eye relief and without a mask from VR cover. Meta claims a 15% increase on paper, but personally is too small of a number to really notice or feel like a huge leap. You don't get that open view, but are still stuck with a goggle effect. To be fair, I personally don't find games less immersive because of it, but I do agree that for the price you pay, they should have given us a bigger field of view. Oh well, total different subject. The speakers of Quest 3 are far louder than Quest 2. As far as my ears could tell, it sounds more crisp and the bass has definitely more spice to it, but I think hardcore gamers will still prefer headphones. In that case, make sure to use a slanted cable, and it's also good to be aware that connecting over Bluetooth remains to be a problem in terms of delay. Can't believe this still hasn't been improved. And in regards to the microphone, judge yourself. This is me speaking through the microphone of the Quest 3. Here's me speaking through the microphone of Quest 2. So to wrap things up, if you are a VR veteran or looking to buy your very first headset, the Quest 3 is a fantastic choice and upgrade. Overall, it feels like a next-gen headset and a major step up from Quest 2, especially with its smaller form factor, pancake lenses, and now mixed reality capabilities. Its biggest disappointments are the field of view, bad comfort, and price. Quest 2 was sold at such a low price point, partly during a pandemic, that most consumers saw it as an impulse buy. Currently, Quest 3 for most is too expensive to, well, not know what they are buying into, especially with the ongoing inflation. Even people who do have plenty of money continue to be hard to convince as they see other tech as a more interesting or safer bet. And that's why I hope we'll see loads of great content, strong marketing, and more demo stations so people can see its value and potential. And that said, it's good to realize that at the same time, Meta is trying to get in Apple's tracks. The moment the Vision Pro releases, I expect a lot more interest for mixed reality. As it's pretty much a steeply priced dev kit, I think this will have a positive effect on the Quest 3 sales and will probably see a massive increase of new users. So Quest 3 is a worthy successor and seems to be ready for whatever shift we'll see in the market and has lots of room to grow. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this headset. Are you going to get one? And with that being said, until next time, bye bye!